What? Where am I? What's going on here?
So I heard you aren't a fan of Anastasia.
What? What are you talking about? I love that movie with its funny little bat and gross, disgusting corpse scenes.
Excuse me?
It's mostly just the villain. The animation's so gross and it's really out of place.
It's only one of my greatest works of art and entertainment, and you better give it a good review.
Well, with that type of threat... Wait, you said my.
Yes, I did.
I need to hire a graphic designer.
The moment is finally here. After discussing all of Don Bluth's other 90s films from the blah to the it's time to talk about one of the most cherished 90s animated films, Anastasia. The real-life story of Nicholas Romanov, the last emperor of Russia, and his family being executed by communist revolutionaries isn't one of my favorite subjects. Yet with spotty details about what actually happened, plus a decades-long rumor that the youngest daughter and possible heir to the throne, Anastasia, survived the assault, obviously the next course of action was to make a family-friendly animated motion picture about it. Usually confused as a Disney movie, which, as of this recording, it's on the US version of Disney Plus, since they now own 20th Century Fox, this is considered one of Bluth's best-known films for its gorgeous animation, engaging historical fiction story, and massive musical numbers. Critics and audiences loved it. It got a couple of Oscar noms and even garnered a Broadway musical. But let's be fair. Doesn't everything get adapted to a stage musical now? Mean Girls, Beetlejuice, Rocky?
Well, I gotta do another fight, Paulie, right after this number. 5, 6, 7, 8!
But it is true that this is one of Bluth's most beloved films, and I still hear nothing but positive things about it to this day.
Well, I think this movie deserves the old Ello Dicky Poo treatment to see if it's as good as people claim, or if it's just overinflated nonsense, like the Russian democratic process. Please don't hurt me, Putin. So let's take another journey to the past. This is Anastasia.
There was a time, not very long ago.
Hey, so Mrs. Potts went from France to Russia, I see.
That ceramic really gets around.
Our story starts with narration from the Empress of Russia giving her granddaughter, Anastasia, a music box that plays her childhood lullaby, Once Upon a December. And it sounds exactly like I thought a Russian lullaby would sound. Dreamy, but with a slightly unsettling melody. Or, you know, modern Taylor Swift music.
I feel a cease and desist email coming.
We then meet Rasputin, with an obvious bad guy entrance played by Christopher Lloyd.
Great Scott.
Rasputin possesses a deep hatred for the Romanov family and curses them all to die, so he sells his soul to... insert evil entity here, which then gives him this glowing glass cylinder with mystical powers. The city then turns to anarchy against the Romanovs as they begin to storm the palace.
So remember, kids, this has nothing to do with the Romanovs' leadership skills. We should all blame the fall of the Russian Empire to this glowing green thing.
During the riot, Anastasia and the Empress are escorted out of the palace by a young servant boy named Dmitri, who gets knocked out during the siege. And Rasputin falls through the ice of a channel and drowns to death. This is fun for the whole family 5 minutes in, if you ask me. The Empress and Anastasia attempt to catch a moving train, which Anastasia can't make it on, and falls, knocking herself out. So you're just gonna stay on the train, lady? Your possible last living relative doesn't make it, and you're just like, she belongs to the streets now. We then cut to 10 years later, where the people of St. Petersburg are living under communist rule since the revolutionary, and their lives are miserable.
I was gonna put an America fuck yeah joke here, but this was around the time when the Depression was about to hit, so... never mind.
They have a big musical number about a rumor in St. Petersburg that the Grand Duchess Anastasia is still alive and the Empress is offering a massive reward to anyone who can safely bring Anastasia to her in Paris. During the song, we meet Vlad and former servant boy Dmitri, who come up with a plan to find an Anastasia lookalike, take her to Paris, receive the reward,
and go to Rio.
Wait, not the last part.
We then jump to an orphanage where 18-year-old Anastasia, now going by Anya, doesn't remember a thing about who she is or where she came from, but she knows from her necklace she must head to Paris.
Say goodbye to discount Madam Mim over here.
On her way, Anya meets a dog she names Puka, where she sings Journey to the Past, my favorite song in this film. After seeing 2 musical numbers now, this definitely follows a bit of a Disney formula. The massive ensemble number that sets up the main plot, then the big solo number by the main character about their desire for the future. So we've seen this before, right? Anya tries to leave for Paris but doesn't have an exit visa, which a woman tells her to see Dmitri for help.
Fuck off, bitch.
Vlad and Dmitri hold auditions to find their Anastasia lookalike to no avail.
Grandma, it's me.
Anastasia.
Anya breaks into the palace and has an epiphany after seeing the relics of her past, singing a grand version of her lullaby, Once Upon a December. Another fantastic number. I know I keep talking about how great the music is, but when Bluth had all these Barry Manilow blahs, then jumps to breathtaking Russian choirs partnered with quality animation, it's so refreshing. Vlad and Dmitri discover Anya in the ballroom, and Dmitri believes she can be their perfect Anastasia lookalike, and says he'll take her to Paris with the belief that she is the real Grand Duchess, not telling her about the reward.
Right.
Ow. Okay.
Up in the rafters, though, is Bartok, the bat assistant to the now dead Rasputin. He's basically Iago, but a little more lax in his evilness. The green slime cylinder begins to glow after years of naught, then sends Bartok into the ground, through the earth, into what I assume is Rasputin's personal purgatory, where our villain is decomposing. For comedic purposes. Yeah, as stated in my opening skit, I'm pretty critical of these scenes. It's not the worst gag, but it's just so overdone. The whole thing with him losing body parts to pop back in is gross and distracting compared to the rest of this film.
Sorry, guys, I'll get back to you.
Rasputin, now with a new sense of purpose with his green glowing penis pump, sings In the Dark of the Night to get his revenge on Anastasia. I love when animated films get a great actor to be the villain, but when they have to do a big villain song, they just get Jim Cummings to do it.
Soon she will feel that her nightmares are real.
Can you believe this guy's the voice of Winnie the Pooh?
Oh, bother.
Vlad, Dmitri, and Anya are on a train to Paris, where the latter two constantly bicker and fight.
Stop fiddling with that thing.
Stop bossing me around. You think you're gonna miss it?
Miss what? You're talking?
Just fucking get it over with already.
However, Rasputin's demon bats detach the train and blow the engine. They consider just waiting it out, but the big bat breaks the bridge. Does no one want to question that? The trio is able to slow down the train with an anchor and jump off safely, which infuriates Rasputin to the point of more body dismemberment. I don't know what it is. I can't stand these scenes. I don't know if it's because Bartok annoys me, which he kind of does, or these body bits are just getting old. This is so far a great movie, but these parts are bumming me out. Still on their way to Paris, Vlad and Dmitri have to teach Anya the entire history of the Romanov family and the life of Anastasia. In song. Another winner here, and as additional songs appear, I'm seeing more and more clearly how this was absolutely made for the stage. Much more than the story of a Philadelphia working-class boxer.
Okay, I actually just found out that the people that wrote the Rocky musical wrote all the music for Anastasia. I swear to God, I didn't know that before I made that joke.
Now on a boat, Anya puts on a nice dress, which magically gives her longer hair apparently, where Dmitri teaches her how to dance and the two of them begin to fall for each other. Yeah, I know the whole I hate you then fall for you cliche has been done so many times, but I do enjoy it here because it feels genuine, especially when you have a third party, Vlad in this instance, as the person to balance out the two of them. Rasputin then sends his demons while Anya is sleeping, and they possess her dream, a thing they can do I suppose, and make her sleepwalk during a storm to jump off the boat. Now this is one of the most impressive sequences in any Don Bluth film. Everything from the fluid animation and direction, the tone shift in the score jumping from the whimsical of Anya's dream to the cut of intense reality on the boat, the energy is unmatched. It's truly art. Dmitri ends up saving her by waking her up, and then why?
Just go away. You're ruining my great movie.
It's amazing how they make something as beautiful as Once Upon a December and even the boat sequence to this.
Disgusting!
So Rasputin decides he's had enough and will just kill Anya himself and leaves his purgatory. So he was just able to do this at any time? Okay, moving on. In Paris, the Empress is getting tired of seeing Anastasia imposters that are being brought to her by her first cousin, Sophie Sophie Stanislavevna Samovkara Smirnov. Holy shit! The trio arrive and Vlad is absolutely infatuated with Sophie.
This is unexpected.
I'm a big guy and I like women with a lot.
Anya goes through Anastasia questioning and even remembers how she escaped the palace, saying a worker boy rescued her. That being Dmitri, who now believes Anya is the real Anastasia. Sophie takes the three of them shopping before they attend the Russian ball for Anya to meet the Empress. The amount of money being spent for this lavish night out has to cost as much as the reward money at this point. Dmitri, however, feels guilty about the con and the fact that he would never see Anya again. After the Russian ball, Dmitri goes to introduce Anya to the Empress, and there's something that they've done throughout this film that I love. At certain moments, they have a light surrounding the eyes of Anya. This is used to symbolize she was the real Anastasia because it matched her royal portrait. It's subtle, but beautiful. Despite Dmitri's persistence, the Empress is sick of seeing Anastasia lookalikes and is not willing to meet Anya. She also says she knows Dmitri as the con man that held Anastasia auditions in Russia.
Anastasia.
Anya hears the conversation and storms off, mad at Dmitri for being tricked. Ah, look over here. Animators just forget this part? Dmitri ends up hijacking the Empress's car to take her to Anya and convinces her by giving her the music box. I, for one, can't wait for the release of Grand Theft Auto France! The Empress ends up meeting Anya, to which she tells a long-forgotten memory and sings Once Upon a December, revealing her to be the true Grand Duchess. A lovely scene that is then ruined by these two again. Rasputin says he will kill Anya at the party being thrown for the return of the Grand Duchess, to which Bartok literally says,
Get a life!
"It's funny because he's dead!" The Empress offers Dmitri the reward money, to which he declines, citing a change of heart, and leaves Paris for St. Petersburg.
The least you could have done is taken the money. No, Dmitri, don't go!
During the party, the Empress tells Anya that Dmitri didn't take the money, which makes her question what it is that she wants. But she then follows Puka into a hedge maze that is possessed by Rasputin. I know this is only the 1920s and The Shining isn't out yet, but Anya, you should know better.
Duchess!
She pops out of the hedge maze onto a bridge. Was this place close to the palace? I don't know. Magic. Anya comes face to corpse with Rasputin, who then provokes and attacks her with his glowing 9th grade science project, but Dmitri comes back and punches him in the face. All kinds of other trouble ensues, like a stone Pegasus attacking Dmitri, but during a scuffle, Anya winds up with the cylinder and shatters it, and we get one last gross effect for this character. Dmitri does the fake "I'm dead but wakes up" cliche, and the two profess their love for each other, so Anya leaves a note for her grandmother saying she is running off with Dmitri.
It's a perfect ending. No, it's a perfect beginning.
Sure, you always have to get the last word, you royal ass. So our film ends with Anya and Dmitri dancing on a boat, kissing for their happily ever after, going back to communist Russia where people are still suffering after the revolution. But you know, love. And one last dumb gag for Bartok, giving him a female bat for no reason. The end.
So that was Anastasia, and is it all the hype says it is? For the most part, yeah.
To be honest, it's tough making jokes about a movie that's this good. I normally make quips about poor animation, rough songs, and a plot that doesn't make any sense, but there isn't much of that here. Yeah, my biggest negative is clearly the villain, but not for the job that Christopher Lloyd nor even Hank Azaria did per se, but I just thought the scenes were a bit out of place and the body dismemberment gags got old quick. But if that's the biggest negative I can say, you got a gem of a film here. I completely understand why this is incorrectly considered a Disney movie because it has all the Disney pieces. In my Thumbelina video, I talked about how many people think Thumbelina is a Disney movie because it has many of the tropes of a classic Disney film. While Thumbelina has the tropes of a classic Disney fairy tale, Anastasia feels like a Disney movie that the company was making during the 90s Renaissance, like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Hunchback. Not one of Walt's classics. Having a big ensemble opening number setting up the story, a song about what the main character wants, a classic villain song, a montage sequence song, a heavenly score, a beautiful blend of CGI and traditional animation. I loved all of this. I actually want to see the stage production to know how they can expand this story even further, like the relationship of Anya and Dmitri. Because at the end of the day, what is this? It's a princess love story, but with one tiny difference. In almost all these stories of royalty, a prince or a princess, the royal one takes the poor person and turns them into a prince or princess to live in luxury in their palace. Jasmine to Aladdin, Beast to Belle, Prince Charming to Cinderella, you get it. This one has the royal person step down from their life of luxury to be with the commoner, if you will. Something you don't really see besides maybe in Hercules, which was the same year, 1997, as this. I loved this movie. After watching all of these abysmal ones that Don Bluth has made, from the meh Pebble and the Penguin to the cheap-looking Rockadoodle, Don Bluth showed that he could step up to his former employer and create something of such high quality. It is easily his greatest work, not just of the 90s, but maybe his entire filmography, and I would tell any animation fan, young and old, to give this one a watch. Pay no mind to the rotting corpse, though.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and tell me, what is your opinion of Anastasia? What's your favorite Don Bluth movie? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, or enemies, I guess, and subscribe to my channel for more animation reviews, nostalgia lookbacks, and anything else I can come up with. Thanks, everybody!